Hi guys, so today we're going to be looking at a brand new type of product. This is going to be a oil painting gel kit. It is made by Korean nail brand Devok. I saw this on Sweetie Nail Supply. They carry a ton of the different Korean nail brands and I knew I had to have it. And it looks so cool. It's basically a gel set that's supposed to act like oil paints, which, you know, I've never actually oil painted before, but I've done regular painting, so close enough. Nevertheless, they are supposed to act like oil paints, and I think that is such a cool idea. Some of the designs I've already seen people do are so good, and I just love that look. In one of my recent videos, I tried more of a realistic nail art style, and surprisingly, I think I'm better at it than a cartoony style. So when I saw this, I knew I had to get it and try it. Now, I have to preface this with saying this is a limited edition product. Like, this was something I actually set an alarm for to buy for the launch, and it is sold out right now, but I believe that they are going to be restocking one more time, and it does come with a quite hefty price tag at like $400 something, which I actually think is the most I've ever spent on a single nail product ever, shockingly. I've had this for a little while, but I've just had some other things to do, and I am dying to open this, so let's just get right into it. Here it is. And it also comes with a canvas palette. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Isn't that? Oh my gosh, let's open the palette too. Ooh, I'm so excited. This is such beautiful packaging. All of the Korean gels always have such beautiful packaging, which I love. I feel like even though sometimes they end up getting tossed, I keep like the really good packaging that comes with mine, like on my tiny gels that look like one looks like a cereal box. I kept that. I'm gonna keep this too, of course. And it's nice and sturdy too, like this box is going to last. Well, that is probably why I couldn't get it off. Okay, are you guys ready to see inside? Okay, we got just this nice little paper. Oh my gosh. This is so fancy. It says canvas gel, a special texture gel only for artists. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I feel a little bit of anxiety using this because I know, I'm gonna just tell you guys, I'm already expecting to love it. Of course something could go wrong and I could hate it, but I'm expecting to love it. And the fact that it's limited edition, like really limited, not like limited edition, makes me nervous because what happens when I run out? Okay, anyway, you also get a brush. It's a nice little like squared off little paintbrush. And let's take just like a little look at the colors. So it looks like we got like a nice little pastel section here, some more, these look a little bit more muted, some nudes, earthy tones, and then on the bottom we have more darker colors and just like, you know, some of the other colors, whatever they felt like would complete the set, I guess. And then of course our black and white. This is so exciting. Of course, my eyes are gravitating towards these ones. The packaging feels good. It does. Each one feels surprisingly light. I don't know why I expected like weight when I picked it up. They feel very light, almost like airy. It does say you have to wipe it. And the top coat is optional. I was reading some like questions and answers off of Instagram, and they do say that you can top coat these, but if you want that more like matte finish on them with more texture, to not top coat them, which I love because sometimes when I've done like a 3D design, sometimes the top coat helps and then sometimes it kind of like ruins the texture and the details. So I love that you don't have to on these. Before we swatch them, let's get the palette out because we'll just swatch them on the palette. So it's nice and it's metal. It does seem to like it would be easy to wipe off. And it has all of the different slots for all of the different colors. And then of course some bigger spots on the palette. But this is nice. I love that you can close it up. That way, if you start a design one day and then want to take a break and come back, you don't have to worry about your gel drying out or worry about how to like cover it. I've done that before. My husband helps me clean up my desk a lot of the time. And if I'm going to come back to a design, sometimes he's accidentally already wiped up my gel palette. So this will be nice that I can just like close it and it'll be safe for the next day. So we've seen the outside quite a bit now. Let's swatch these. That's what we're all waiting for. All right, get my palette out. I'm going to grab my first light colored shade here. This is, I wonder if they each have names. They do not, just numbers. course, they come with a little seal. Okay, are you guys ready to see the texture? Ooh. I'm gonna just do little swatches because like I said, I don't want to waste this stuff, and then I think I'll just probably maybe brush it out a little bit. I feel like you can't really even tell on that one, but I don't think each one is meant to be like super opaque. I feel like I can see it a bit. Definitely would need a little bit more. Okay, you know what? It's fine. I sacrifice more for the video. That way you guys can get a real swatch, because I feel like a $400 gel set is not a decision taken lightly. That is a lot of money for some gels. Okay, that's cute. You know what I'm gonna do? Instead of just like wiping all of this off, I'm gonna go grab just a nail that I can just wipe off the excess, and it'll be like a little paint strokes nail. It'd be like a design. All right, so just any leftover gel will go on this nail. And I'm just going to give it a little cure in between each one, just so that we don't like mix them together. Next up we have a yellow. I feel like they have a good opacity. They're not like 100% opaque, but they're not super transparent either. I, again, have never really worked with oil paints before, but I feel like with the way these are, they are very versatile. That way you don't have to like thin it out or anything like that. I feel like the little just wiping off on it already looks cool too, and it definitely does keep its texture, which is really nice. These are definitely the more like bright and springy shades. Very cute. I am so excited about this. I honestly don't have any ideas to what I'm actually going to do in terms of my nail design today. I don't know if I want to like recreate famous paintings or just try to come up with something on my own. I just want to do like everything. This color right here, this like periwinkle color, is like my favorite right now. Honestly, I've kind of strayed away from pink being my favorite color. If you guys can't tell, right now I feel like it's like purple slash like periwinkle, which I feel like this is a periwinkle. I love that bluish purple tone. So pretty. This one I already know is going to be my favorite. I have 21 more of these to swatch, so let's just kind of speed through that. Something I'm noticing is they're not really stringy either, which I am really happy about. I've had, I feel like, a lot of issues recently with getting gel paints, and then they are so thick and kind of like viscous that they are stringy, and I'll pull up from say like a dot or something and it'll ruin that dot. So it'll be like a little string that hangs off and gets wherever it wants. So I like that these are not. So here is everything all swatched. Now this little nail didn't quite turn out how I thought it was going to look. These gels definitely do leave their texture, which I kind of expected. They're like almost grainy, not to the point where it's like gonna be hard to work with or you can like really see it, but just enough so that it does stay very solid and like leave that brush texture. Some of them are a little bit more pigmented than others, but I feel like that's kind of also with the color. The lighter colors like this one and this one have less pigment. These are super pigmented. The black and white look really nice. This looks so nice and so professional. Also, do not worry, I have not cured the palette because I can obviously use these gels a little bit. I don't know how much of the gel on the palette I'm actually going to be able to like scoop up and use, but I'm going to try my best. I won't even lie to you and say this even looks cool. This doesn't really, but it looked pretty initially before we started getting to the really dark colors. I feel like once we started getting to the dark colors, it all went downhill really quickly. Now that we've swatched them, I'm even more excited to actually like dig into them. But I think I need a minute to think about what I'm going to do because I feel like with stuff like this, it could go wrong very easily because these are less smooth. I feel like things could get lost in translation a little bit easier than say, you know, normal gels with like a cartoonish style or something like that. I would love to see someone who's very good at doing like cartoony nail art do that nail art, but with these, I feel like that would be so cool to see. It won't be me doing it, but hopefully one of you do it because you guys are really good. Anyway, I'm gonna think about it for a sec and then I'm gonna come back and I'm going to do my nails on stands today because it's almost like a painting, you know? I feel like it's going to be a lot easier that way, but I will put them on at the end of the video, don't you worry. I already know I'm going to want to wear these nails, even if they look ugly, I'm gonna wear them. It'll also make it easier for you guys to see. On a side note, if you haven't noticed, I am in the process of upgrading my little setup. I got a new camera, which I'm using to film my face cam right now because I don't trust myself enough to film my main focus right here. We'll see, maybe the second half of the video I will use it. We'll see. I'm really scared to use it. It's way more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Also, I don't know yet. It's either going to be really good or really bad. I'm finally using a much better mic, but it's going to take me some time to learn how to use it. Hopefully this doesn't sound just awful, but I know that my sound quality is one thing that hasn't really improved very much over time, and I finally wanted to tackle that. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that really quick in case there are some like weird things with the focus or color or sound or anything like that. I'm in the process of learning this new equipment that I got. Thanks for listening to my little rambling. Let's get into the paintings. Not even the nails, the paintings. Okay, I have my nails all ready to go on the stands, and I want to give a little tip for the nails on the stands because I've struggled with actually getting them to stay like while you're doing things. There's nothing worse than when you're working on a press-on and it just like falls off, but these are on really well. I've started using a sticky tape. It's like this, I think it's like technically like 3M type double-sided tape, but I got this one from Temu. It's like giant roll. But I put that on the nail and then I use this, it says plastic clay, but it's just like, you know, like a sticky wax type thing, and putting the tape on the nail and then this on the tape to attach it to the stand helps a lot because I feel like this sticks to the stand very easily, but not always the nail. So just a little tip in case you're having problems with that. So I have a couple ideas, actually a whole list of ideas, and I am, of course, I'm sure you guys are not surprised, going to do 5 different designs, and they're not necessarily all going to be the same theme or color scheme or style or anything like that. I just want to do 5 different designs because this stuff is so fun. I just kind of like want to play around with it. So we'll start with this one. I want to do like a sunset ocean type theme, and I don't necessarily think that they need a base color gel on it. You can probably build it up. I am going to put one for this one since it's going to be like a little sunset ocean theme. I feel like a nice blue will be a good base. I'm going to use this gel. This is also another Korean gel that I got from this same store. Again, this bluish periwinkle color that I'm loving right now. And this is a syrup consistency gel, which means it's not supposed to be like completely opaque. It's supposed to have that transparency to it. It's supposed to look like soft and delicate. So I don't really see a reason to clean off my palette right now since I am going to be using a bunch of the colors today. While this much gel is not very useful, I can definitely use little bits of it here and there, but I will definitely need to get a little bit more out, so I'll just do that as I go. This is not a product that I'm going to just like liberally squeeze out on a palette. Then I'm gonna just give it a little bit of a wipe to get the sticky layer off. All right, let's just start on the ocean maybe. I'm gonna use this like brighter blue. Oh no, I'm gonna definitely need to get it out. It does seem like it did dry a teeny tiny bit, which is fine. It happens. Again, I've never used oil paints before, so I'm not sure if there is a ton of technique to it with the strokes or if you can kind of, you know, do it how you want. I'm kind of doing these in like a wave-ish pattern so that the texture picks up on that a little bit. Okay, that looks good. Just use this little handheld curing lamp to partially just cure things so I don't move it around when I'm putting other layers on. And then I'm gonna grab some other colors and kind of just give it some dimension. Thankfully, this palette has a lot of blue. Okay, nice. Okay, unless they're fresh, these tiny little bits are definitely not easy to use, so I'm gonna have to just get more out. I can also, for some reason in my head, I'm not even thinking about it, but I can mix colors too, which I definitely will do. But I kind of just want to get the hang of these for this design, at least. I love the texture on these. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about like it actually leaving like the brush strokes and stuff like that, but I really like it. It's definitely a stylized look. Cool. Does that look like water? Maybe. It could. Maybe it'll be a little better once we add some like sunset or something. Okay, let's start the background. Just gonna get some of this orange over here. And I'm gonna see how these ombre, kind of want more of like a more orange and then some pink-ish. It looks like the ocean's on fire a little bit, but hopefully trust the process. I really like this palette because I'm able to just like close it on up whenever I want to use my light. I feel like a lot of the time I have to grab it and set my palette elsewhere or like really move, you know, the nail or something like that. And when I'm filming, it's so much easier to just bring the light to it, but I don't want to accidentally like have the light turn on like over anything when I'm pulling it over, but just closing it gives a little bit more peace of mind, which I really like. You know, honestly, I should probably look at a reference because obviously I have no idea how a sunset looks. Like what kind of color combo was going on there. I do not know. It's fine. Just gonna put the sun now. Doing a second layer on the sun now. I may want to top coat this one, but I don't know. I really like the texture, but also I feel like potentially it could look really good glossy. I think we need to get some mixing action going. So between this orange, that magenta color, burgundy, and then I'm not actually wanting to mix them entirely together. I want it kind of marbled. I want to see if we can get like a nice like texture going this way. I'm finding it does get a little bit difficult to work on top of places where you've already put down some gel just because the texture starts to get really weird. Like the gel you're putting on will go on the high points but then won't go on the low, so you have to like really kind of like mush it in there almost. I don't know if this is going how I thought it was gonna go, but that's okay. It's the first one. There's still a lot of room for improvement, right? I think for the next ones, I'm definitely gonna need to go and find a reference. I haven't tried wiping anything off yet, so I'm gonna just see if I can maybe wipe some alcohol and see how it comes off. Not bad. Okay, might need to start adding some blue back in so it makes sense, I think. I feel like this one's going in the direction where the more you do to it, the worse it gets. Okay, that actually might be better. I am gonna add clouds and maybe that'll like really pull it together, but I'm gonna just cure all of this. Okay, get some white out. And I'm gonna try to use a dotting tool, just see how that works. I'm gonna try to just add a tiny bit of purple to the clouds to kind of help them mesh in a little bit better, kind of like, you know, they're like reflecting off of the sunset, because I feel like when they're stark white like that against muted colors, it's kind of jarring. Okay, you know what I'm thinking? I feel like this looks unfinished, and I think it's because I need a little bit of reflection on the water. Finally, I'm just going back and I'm actually just darkening up this tiny little bit here, because if this was a light source, it would get darker as it got farther away. And I am actually pleasantly surprised that this one turned out okay. I feel like it was a good learning nail, but I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. I can definitely tell I've never oil painted before. And then they said that you can top coat it or not. Without the top coat, there is no sticky layer or anything like that. It just dries, but there's definitely a texture. Like, listen, I'm putting you guys near the mic. Can you hear this? But definitely no sticky layer. I don't think I'm gonna put a top coat on it. There's so many ridges that once you put a top coat on it, I'm not quite sure if you can really get that top coat off if you don't like it, opposed to like when a nail is smooth, easy to wipe it off with alcohol, but I just don't know if that's the case for this one. I say we just leave it how it is for now, and if for some reason I want to go back and top coat it, I can. Let's get done with this nail. We've been on it for way too long. For this nail, I think I want to do some strawberries. I did see a design done with these on Instagram by Vivian, and these are so pretty, but I'm gonna do mine quite a bit bigger and a bit in a different style. As far as a base goes, I kind of want to do like a strawberry Valentine's Day theme, you know, more like pink and red sort of vibe. So I'm going to use this pink. It's pretty bright, but I think it'll be really cute. You guys know what I just realized? I did this design this way when you can do your designs however you want, whatever way you want to look at them. But typically you would have the design facing out so that when you put your nails like this, you can see them. You can do it so that the design is facing you like this if you want. You can do your nails however you want. But typically they're supposed to go facing out, and I did this one facing towards me. That's my bad. I got too excited and just wanted to start right away. But I am going to correct that on this one and do it this way. Put my base on, nice, bright, cute, perfect. We will definitely need this color, some of this, probably some of that, and then we might mix a color or two, honestly. Actually, I'll just do that now. I want to make a lighter red. Just realized there's like no bright red in this. This one over here I'd consider more of a burgundy, and it's pretty cool toned. My nails currently have strawberries on them because I actually went with a friend to go pick strawberries as like a little activity. It was cute and fun. I will throw up a couple pictures on the screen for you guys, but it was fun. Although we definitely waited a little bit too long, and I'm pretty sure it's been like a little unusually hot recently, and so a lot of the strawberries were already like going bad on the vine, which was so sad to see. So to find good ones, we had to like really forage, I guess. So we were there for a while, and then I made chocolate covered strawberries with mine. Okay, there's the first layer. I actually would like a bit more of a brighter red, so I'm gonna try mixing the same one. Oh, that's the wrong color. Okay, great. My bad. I'm gonna try mixing that same color with this orange. Also, don't worry, I'm not going to waste any. I pretty much just decided that what I'm gonna do if I have like, you know, too much left over is I'll just do some really basic like swirly designs on a nail or something like that, just so they don't go like completely to waste. There we go, that's a bit brighter. Can you even tell? Well, it was worth a try. I just put the stems on. Kind of look like cherries, actually. Cherry strawberries? You know, that sounds like a good little GMO fruit. It's kind of hard with these little paints because it goes against usually what you're supposed to do and just not glob up your brush, but if you kind of you don't really get a lot coming off of it just because it is so thick. Like if you just put a tiny bit, you're not getting anything off. This is not looking good. This is not looking good. This is so much harder than I thought. I went into today actually thinking like, oh, I think I will actually be able to do this a little bit better than normal because there's more room for interpretation with this type of painting. You know, it's not as like set in stone as cartoonish styles and stuff like that, where like, you know, this can be a little bit more, I guess, like loose with where you put things, but it is quite a bit harder. I think it's just something I've never worked with before. I guess I've never like had to like shade with like a chunky material, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, honestly, I'm struggling with this a little bit. I feel like I don't know what to do next. I kind of did some little seeds, but I don't know. It just is looking unfinished. I was thinking like maybe I could like outline these or something. No, this is way harder than I thought. They also kind of look more like raspberries than strawberries. I think that it's looking unfinished because this is so smooth and this isn't. So I think I'm going to lighten up that light pinkish red, this one that I made, even more. And I think for the background, I'm gonna kind of just like stroke this on everywhere. Maybe because those are so textured and the background isn't, it's just not looking right as like a whole. So maybe if the background just has like a tiny bit of texture, it will look better. Not perfect, but I definitely think that helped. Okay, I've been working on this nail and touching it up, and I think I need to be done with it. It no longer looks like strawberries and it looks like raspberries, so I'm gonna just start saying raspberries now. Yeah, this one's kind of a fail, but let's move on. Okay, so for this nail, I kind of want to do a wallpaper kind of looking nail where we're gonna have a smooth base that I'm gonna put a matte top coat on, and then we're gonna just do kind of like filigree down it, like some lines, if that makes sense. You know, kind of like a textured wallpaper. They make those. I'm gonna make it like a nude-ish one, so like a brown. One of the other things that I actually got from Sweetie Nail Supply was this set of nude gels. Okay, I can't fit it all in the frame, but those three and these three. I think this is called their like cowboy collection. It's by Diami. We'll see if that's right. And I'm just trying to look and see which one of those is going to match one of these best. These are quite cool toned and these are warm, but they don't need to be exact. And also I can, you know, mix up something a little bit, but I kind of like this one. I think the closest shade to that one probably gonna be this one. I've never tried this brand before. The bottles are beautiful and such good quality. Like, look at that. Okay, I think I'm gonna probably end up doing 2 coats of this. That looks so nice. But I definitely want it to be a little more opaque. Then I'm gonna put a matte top coat on. I feel like shiny just like wouldn't make sense for this, and probably won't want to top coat this design either. I mean, I could, but I'd rather just do this now opposed to regretting that I didn't. We have a perfect base now, but I need to try to mix something up to hopefully have it be exact. We will start with this middle one, and I'm just gonna make enough to mix up and make sure I don't run out. I don't think I'd be good at mixing up like the same one twice. I also feel like mixing them up in this is a bit more difficult than if you just had like regular primary colors, because when you're trying to mix not primary colors, I feel like there's a lot more room for error just if you're used to working with, you know, like a red, green, blue, black, white. I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like I'm usually all right at mixing and color matching, but that's with like normal colors. So let's see how this goes. Definitely more orange. All right, we're kind of close. Okay, let's test. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. Yay. So this is my reference, so you guys know what I mean, like that like filigree down the center and some stripes and stuff like that, and I can probably even get this like texture line here. So let's see what I can do. I think I'm gonna start with the lines. Dang, I feel like you can barely see it, but that's exactly what I wanted. I am absolutely loving how this one is coming out. I'm finishing up this top part right now, and then I'm gonna go over and do another layer just so everything is very textured and 3D, sort of like embossed feeling. And then I think I may end up doing another matte top coat over everything, because I feel like with how many times I had to wipe with alcohol, it got a little bit wonky. But this one I'm actually happy with. I'm conflicted on whether to put another top coat over or not, because I feel like I'm gonna lose that nice texture that I got right there if I do. I just don't like how some of it looks like chunky. It's just so hard to layer it. Like even if you try to go over it, it doesn't really smooth out very well because it won't ever self-level because it's not supposed to. But you know, that doesn't make getting it even easy. I feel like I could end up touching up this one all day, so I'm just gonna finally be done with it. For this one, I want to do something with flowers. I'm thinking like a little flower field or something like that. I was thinking about trying to do another scene. Should I? Yeah, I'll just try it again. And I'm just going to try giving this a white base. Perhaps that will make it a bit easier to put everything on, easier to see, and not have to like layer as much. I want this to be more of a pastel one so I can use those really bright colors. So I'm gonna go for kind of like a meadow type feel. Don't get me wrong, I am absolutely struggling today, but I feel like with a lot of practice, I will really end up liking using them and doing like this style of painting. I'll have to experiment a little bit. I feel like I can already see myself just like sitting here for hours just doing like one-off nails with it. With what's been happening with the other nails, and I feel like why I'm not liking them as much, is they are kind of getting chunky looking. So with this one, I'm gonna really try to pay extra attention to smoothing out texture that is not supposed to be there already. You know, not just leaving like a glob like that, but making it more intentional with the texture. That way layering will be easier and look better. This is definitely not something that you can paint fast. Like if you're gonna sit down and do some designs with this stuff, you better plan on being there for a little while. Okay, there we go. That's some grass. That looks pretty good. The purple and the pink are quite similar, so I may end up just adding some white to this one to try to just get a little bit of a darker shade of purple that's a little bit more different than that pink. And then I also still have some of that pink to work with. Something I have noticed that is really nice, somehow, some way, I always end up at least a little sticky whenever I'm doing like a lot of nail art. Like it just, you know, the brush will wipe on something and then I'll brush against it, something like that. But that has not happened with this stuff because I think it's so thick it doesn't string anywhere, and it also doesn't rub off on stuff easily. So that has been something very nice. I want to do different colors with this grass. So now I'm gonna go over this light color. Okay, I feel like this one's coming off to a really good start. Very happy about that. For the stems, I want something just like a little bit darker, so I'm grabbing some white, and then I'm just gonna take this green and just mix it into here. I mixed up a like little light blue for the sky. I'm not wanting to make it like too intense, just a little something. I probably should have thought about doing the sky before, but here we are. I think I'm gonna like brush this away a little bit so that way, again, it's not too intense. And then just fix the brush strokes on this. Perfect. Now for some flowers. Now I do not know what kind of flowers these are gonna be, or if they're gonna even look like any real flower at all, but I'm gonna try. That pink is so light. With these flowers and this nail in particular, I'm really just trying to not overthink it in terms of detail for this one. I think that I've been trying to be too detailed, and it's turning out looking less detailed because I am trying to do too much. Maybe less detailed is not the right. It's turning out less legible because I'm trying to like put too much in it. So I think maybe if I just go a little simpler, it could work out better. You know what? I actually think I might just put a couple small little details on this and be done with it. I think those two little flowers are cute, and I feel like it's simple but cute. I think I want to add centers to the flowers. Okay, that might have ruined it. Okay, this one is done. It is simple, but I feel like it's cute. Very legible, at least, I hope. Okay, last one. Well, not last one, because after I do this design, I'm probably going to do a couple nails with just kind of like random abstract stuff going on to use up anything that's left on this palette. Because I feel like although you can take some time to work with it, I do hypothesize that over time these will dry out. Like if you left it for a couple weeks, I don't feel like they would be usable. Like a day or two, you're probably fine, but I don't foresee myself using these in the next week. So I want to clean them, but I want to use everything up first. So we'll probably do a couple of just random nails. But this is the last design. This design might end up seeming kind of random, but I want to do flames because I almost feel like you could get really good realistic looking frames. Wow, flames. So I'm going in with this brown one from here for a base. I'm probably going to do a couple coats of this. Isn't this gel so pretty though? Anyway. I'm kind of gonna just get a random background on this, picking up some of the little bits of the random nude ones and some black as much as I can. Kind of just want to get that texture on so that it doesn't seem super crazy. And then I feel like, hopefully you guys can see just the way that like flames are would go on very easily with this stuff. Just like the design, since it's just a lot of, you know, like chaotic strokes. Although I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I can barely see what I'm doing myself. I felt like flames would be cool to paint with this stuff because I feel like you can make a design within the design just with the texture to like show more of the movement. I'm just gonna go in and re-add details. Kind of just with like a mix of the colors. Well, didn't quite turn out how I would have hoped. Not my favorite. I'm gonna try to see if I can give it like a bit of a glow. Yeah, I don't like this one. This one's absolutely terrible. So here are all of the nails. I think we can just like ignore that middle one, but this is super fun. It's definitely gonna take me some time to learn more how to do it. I think this one's my favorite. This one might have been my favorite if I started out trying to make raspberries. But I'm going to grab a couple more tips and we can like clean up the palette and maybe decorate a couple of these nails. Also, there's a couple little like kind of small dumb things I want to try. These ones are all pretty much going to be just super abstract looking, like no real rhyme or reason except for just, you know, whatever I feel like. So I kind of want to just scoop gel on this, you know, and clean up some of these. I want to only do the brighter colors on this. And I just kind of really want to like see if I can just make like a couple like big brush strokes. I feel like it ended up mixed a lot more than I had kind of hoped. Did it too many times. But the texture is very fun. And this may ruin this, but I'm gonna do it again so I can get the rest of this off the brush. Something I've been dying to do, and I have no idea why I feel like this, but I feel like this is just gonna look really strange over glitter or like some sort of shiny, sparkly background, if you know what I mean. I feel like it just doesn't seem like these like old timey, I guess they're not like old timey, but you know, like the oil paints and just like the packaging and everything kind of like reminds me of more like Renaissance era. So like thinking about like Renaissance, Impressionist type era, I think like that vibe, and then like glittery, sparkly things like just don't mix, and I think it's really funny. So I just maybe want to do like a couple flowers or something. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and actually top coat these ones just because I want to see how it looks top coated. And here they are. I feel like this one just definitely, I feel like the design does not go with the background. I don't know, just something about the way the oil paintings are. I feel like they should just be matte. Although this one does look all right. I feel like it could be like a good background for something. And then this one's, I just left. I like the texture of it. But yeah, here are all the nails. I might mess around with this more later, but this has been quite the adventure. If any of you got this, please let me know how you like it and if you have any tips for it. Obviously, I'm struggling a little bit. I'm gonna put these on as press-ons and give you guys the final shots. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye!